You know that feeling, right? That moment when everyone around you seems to be doing the exact same thing.
Oh, yeah.
Thinking the same way, chasing the same stuff. And somewhere, like deep down, you're just screaming, this isn't me.
Absolutely. It's a really common, sometimes kind of unsettling feeling.
It's more than just like a passing thought. It can be a real gut punch sometimes.
It absolutely is. And, you know, the Solace Fox YouTube channel, in their video, "You're not like the rest, prove it now." They really nail this. They highlight how that realization, it's not usually a celebration at first.
No, definitely not.
It's terrifying. It really puts you at this profound crossroads, doesn't it?
Yeah, like you have to.
Right. You either keep up the act, you know, try to keep fitting in, or you take that huge leap.
The scary leap.
The scary leap, exactly. Stepping into who you actually are.
And that second option, I mean, that's the one where the source says it requires you to bet everything on yourself, which is huge.
It is huge, especially when the world, well, it's constantly whispering or sometimes shouting, be reasonable.
Be practical.
Just be like everyone else. It's this really intense pressure, pull towards conforming.
So let's dig into that. Why is stepping into your true self, your, authentic self, why is that so inherently terrifying for some?
Well, I think it's terrifying mainly because it means letting go of what feels like a safety net, even if it's a false one.
Okay.
We're kind of wired biologically almost to seek belonging, right? And conformity often feels like the easiest route to getting accepted.
It's like the path of least resistance.
Exact. But what's really crucial here, and what the source points out, is that it's not just about what you do, but how you feel about your own choices.
Right.
When you break from that mold, you lose the comfort of just blending in. And that's really what our deep dive is about. We're going to unpack this whole, like, what actually happens when we chase that external validation. What's the surprising truth about where real safety lies? Hint, maybe not where we think.
Right.
And ultimately talking about the, frankly, liberating power of authentically embracing what makes you different.
Not to prove it to others, but
to prove it to yourself. That's the key shift.
Okay, let's unpack this because I think this touches on something so universal. The source talks about how so many people spend their entire lives in this weird performance. Constantly trying to prove their worth to others. It's like we're jumping through hoops, checking boxes, always doing what we think we're supposed to do.
Yeah, you become this sort of chameleon.
Exactly. Constantly shifting based on who's watching, what you think they want to hear. But what's the deeper psychological trap there? Why do we keep falling for it even when we kind of know it's exhausting?
It's precisely because we mix up acceptance with value. That's the core confusion.
Okay, acceptance versus value.
Yeah. The real insight here is recognizing that acceptance from others. It's often temporary, it's conditional. But our intrinsic value, that's not conditional. So we start making decisions based not on what will truly fulfill us deep down, but on what we think will get us that nod of approval.
And that's the exhausting cycle.
It is an exhausting cycle because you're constantly looking outside yourself for a metric, for validation, for something that really needs to come from within. The source puts it blunt. You're never done proving yourself.
Wow.
It's like a treadmill that just keeps speeding up and you never actually arrive anywhere that feels like yours.
So it's like endlessly tweaking your social media profile based on what you think it's like instead of just posting what genuinely excites you, maybe.
That's a perfect analogy. It becomes a performance that literally never ends, right?
Right.
Or, think about work. Always volunteering for those projects you think the boss wants to see, even if they completely drain.
Instead of pitching something you're actually passionate about.
Exactly. Something you'd excel at because you care. When you do that, you're constantly rewiring your self-worth external metric. And that fundamentally makes us feel it has to.
And this next point from the source, wow, it really flips our whole understanding of safety on its head, doesn't it?
It really does.
It suggests that following the crowd, doing what everyone else does, might not actually be safe at all. In fact, maybe the opposite. Can you elaborate on that? Because it feels so counterintuitive.
Yeah, this point is incredibly insightful. The fear of being different, it's often not really about being different itself.
Okay, so what's it about then?
It's about being responsible for your own results. Think about it. When you follow the crowd, you have built-in excuses if things go wrong.
Ah, right. Well, everyone else was doing it.
Precisely. It wasn't my fault. I was just on the accepted path. But the second you choose to be different, to trust your own judgment, suddenly you're fully accountable. If it works, great, you get the credit. But if it doesn't, you own that too.
And that's scary.
That level of personal responsibility is what terrifies most people. It leads them to stick.
Okay, I totally get that the accountability part is terrifying. But let's be real. For many people, that accepted path does offer a very real, immediate sense of security, right?
Yeah.
Even if it's not fulfilling. How does the source kind of square that immediate perceived safety with the long-term risk of just...
That's a great question. And the source brilliantly highlights that this is largely an illusion.
An illusion? How so?
Following the crowd doesn't actually protect you from failure or disappointment in the long run. What it does guarantee often is that even if you succeed by those conventional metrics, it won't feel like success.
That hollowness.
Exactly. You'll always have that nagging feeling that what if? What would have happened if I just trusted myself? The real long-term risk of conformity isn't failing. It's the quiet death of your own.
Wow.
It's that slow erosion of your unique spirit. It's the regret later of a life
Okay, so if that's the trap, this sort of conformity trap, what's the alternative? How do people actually make that shift? Stop chasing the approval and start living authentically.
The alternative really is to stop playing that game entirely. Just refuse to play.
Easier said than done, maybe?
Oh, for sure. But the most successful, most fulfilled people, the ones the source described, they aren't trying to prove they belong in the structure.
What are they doing?
They're creating their own space. They stopped trying to convince others of their value and just started building something so undeniably valuable that it spoke for itself. Think about anyone who's genuinely changed things, right? Innovators, artists, they didn't follow someone else's blueprint. They had the courage, the audacity maybe, to bet on their own unique vision.
So it's about building a life that truly reflects you.
Exactly. Not a life that just mirrors everyone else's expectations or reflects what you think they want to see.
That makes so much sense. So it's not about being a rebel just for the sake of it, is it?
Not at all.
It's more about realizing that maybe everything you've been told about fitting in, playing it safe, following the quote-unquote proven path, maybe that's actually been keeping you small.
Precisely. And when you finally stop trying to prove you're different and just start actually being different by living your truth, what tangible shifts can someone expect to see? What actually changes?
Yeah, what happened?
Well, several crucial things tend to happen. First, you get this profound clarity.
Clarity.
Yeah. When you're not constantly shape-shifting to please others, you finally get space to figure out what you actually want, what you truly believe, what you're genuinely capable of, not what others think you are.
Okay, that's big. What else?
Second, you reclaim your energy. Think about all that mental and emotional energy spent on performance, on people.
It's exhausting. We said that before.
It is exhausting. That energy becomes available for creating something meaningful, for building your life, pursuing your goal.
Right. Okay. Clarity, energy, anything else.
And third, and this is truly transformative, I think you start attracting the right opportunities and the right people.
How does that work?
When you're authentic, you become kind of magnetic to things, and people that genuinely align with who you are and where you're going, you stop chasing.
And start creating. Attracting.
Exactly. You start attracting, you start creating, it flips the dynamic.
That's a huge shift, moving from chasing to attracting. Yeah. But, people get stuck. Often they think they need permission to be different, right?
Absolutely.
You're waiting for the right moment, the perfect opportunity, some kind of external validation from someone else. Like practically, what does it look like when you're truly stuck waiting for that external green light? And maybe more importantly, what small steps can someone take to start giving themselves that permission?
That's key. Permission isn't something that gets granted from outside. It's something you have to give yourself. The longer you wait for someone else, a boss, a parent, society to tell you it's okay to be who you are, the longer you stay trapped in that performance about.
So how do you break out? Small steps.
One small step is simply acknowledging that weird thing about that quirk, that different perspective. Don't hide it. Maybe try showing it, even in a really small way, someone you trust.
Or even just to yourself first.
Or even just acknowledging it fully to yourself first. Yes, stop judging. And what's kind of wild that the source says it well is that the very thing you're afraid makes you weird, different, hard to understand. That's probably your superpower.
Your superpower.
Yeah. That unique quality you've been maybe trying to hide or tone down, that might be exactly what the world actually needs from you, what makes you valuable.
That's such a powerful reframe. So it's not a flaw you need to fix.
Not at all.
It's more about realizing that most of the rules you thought you had to follow, they aren't actually rules. They're just like suggestions everyone else agreed to follow.
Exactly. And the limitations you feel, often they're just boundaries that nobody bothered to question.
Okay, so how does shifting that perspective really change the landscape of a person's life? You mentioned opportunities, relationship.
Well, when you start operating from your authentic self, from that core place, opportunities appear that you literally never would have before.
Why not? Were they not there?
They were probably there, but you weren't the person who could you were wearing different glasses. Your conversation too. And yes, the people in your life, inevitably.
That sounds potentially painful.
It can be uncomfortable, sure. Some people might naturally fall away, and you know what? That's okay. Because they were likely connected to the version of you that was performing, not the real you,
right?
But the ones who stay, or the new people you attract. Those relationships get more meaning because you're finally building connections based on truth.
And look, it's not going to happen overnight, right?
Yeah.
And it definitely won't happen without some discomfort.
Yeah.
There are going to be moments of doubt where you question everything.
Absolutely. There will be. But the difference, as the source really emphasizes, is what you do in those moments. Do you shrink back into the familiar, the comfortable, the crowd?
Oh.
Or do you double down on the bet you made, the bet on yourself, on who you could become if you stay true?
Which brings us right back to that core insight you mentioned earlier.
Exactly. You already possess the knowledge deep down of what makes you different. You know what you're truly capable of.
That little voice.
That voice that's been whispering to you maybe for years, telling you there's more, telling you to try something different, telling you to stop settling. It's correct. It's been correct all along. It never was wrong.
And this is your moment.
Yeah.
Right now, not tomorrow, not, when you finally feel ready, not when the conditions are absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
Because they never are.
It really is right now. Because the world honestly doesn't need another copy. It doesn't.
It needs the original.
It needs the original version of the unedited, unfiltered, unapologetic version of you that maybe you've been hiding. So stop waiting. Stop waiting for permission or validation or some green light from others.
See, you're different, not as a flaw to fix, something to be ashamed of.
But see it as a gift to unwrap. It truly is.
Because really, the world is waiting for you to unleash it.